YouTube Live.
Show started.
Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Prospector Radio. What's wrong, Shad?
You know, there's never and Shad.
What?
You know, it's just everybody else but me.
What do you, wait,
Oh,
I'm just
big
saying.
cry, baby.
what are you talking about?
You sound like Sleuth. Everybody gets one but me.
Wait, I don't even know what he's talking about. What are you talking about, Chad?
Oh my gosh, the intro commercial thing, man.
What we've been talking about for the last year.
Just brought it up just now. We'll have to,
You don't want to see me mean.
okay.
You don't want to see me naked either.
Don't it say
Just saying. Don't see me.
it says and Shad in that somewhere, don't it?
You at least need to say it.
Well, anyhow, welcome everybody to tonight's show. Joining us tonight, we have a very special guest, good friend Jeff Williams.
Is that the special guest?
What's been happening, Jeff?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I tell you, Slim's got me working my bones to the booty or the booty to the bone. I can't remember. I've been digging so much, I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah.
So, and this self-isolation's driving me mad. I tell you what, it's a beautiful day outside. I'm stuck in his cabin smelling his breath. That's right, boy. I'm talking to you.
Are you and Slim like staying 6 feet apart?
Yeah, until we're sleeping. Then he sneaks over to tell me how crazy I am in the middle of the night. Freaks me out.
That would freak me out.
I heard Slim made lunch today. What was it that he made again? I think you had
Oh.
a sample of it.
Well, it was supposed to be hardtack and beans. I got the beans. I don't know what that is. So it's hard, whatever. So,
Is that a prop?
That what, Kathleen?
is that a what?
Prop.
Yeah, that's
No, everything you said. That's real food right there. Real beans,
Take
real
a bite
biscuits.
of that biscuit.
a bite of that biscuit.
Yeah,
That's a real pot-belly stove right there, 1893.
I want to see you take a bite of that biscuit.
All right, here we go.
Don't lose a tooth.
Ready?
All right, go.
I'm glad I got my spittoon right here. There, you happy?
Slim, eat that biscuit.
Oh,
Yeah, you better get you a drink to wash that thing down.
ah.
It sounded like a rock. It sounded-
Yeah, Slim makes some hardtack, all right. Ah,
No. You could
So
just
you're on the road.
huh?
Are you on the road?
No, I'm on a keg of blasting powder right now.
I was gonna say he's in a garden.
So I got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to the moon.
that's a pretty fancy looking cabin you got there. Jeff.
Yeah, Slim's always got the best stuff. You know what? He didn't want me to move in with him because he said I smell funny. I said, come on, that's your breath blowing back in your face, boy. Come on.
He probably still mad at you when you kicked him out of the cabin when you let Nevada Jack in there.
Yeah, he's still grumpy over that. But you know what? I tell you what, I have an idea. I have a theory that he's keeping his gold nuggets in there. He's probably got some safe box up underneath there. I got to stick my head in there one of these days and take a look. I'm telling you, because he's always out there, and I don't know why. And you know he's got that false floor under his bunk over there. And I know that goes down to another secret part of his gold mine, but he don't let me in there for nothing.
You gotta go in there when he's not around.
Yeah, right. He's always around. No, actually, he's a little square.
Hey, what's this thing? I seen something the other day. What you build a toilet in one of your mines?
Heck yeah, it's got to go somewhere. It's called a honey pot. And of course, the poor unfortunate fool that's got to clean it is called a honey dipper. And you wouldn't catch me, no way, honey dipping that. So I'm just gonna sprinkle in some sawdust and call it a day.
I got you covered up.
Heck yeah, because it was getting real funky down there for a while.
Hey, but you got to remember, in the old days, that's where the guys actually hid the nuggets and take them out.
Exactly. So
watch out for them high graders.
I tell you what, I got a plan. See, I got a red corn cob and I got a white corn cob. I'm gonna hide them in the white corn cob. I figure no one's gonna. Or is it the red one? I haven't figured that one out yet. Well, I'm gonna hide them somewhere. I know Slim ain't gonna play with that.
I would think nobody would want to.
And not with after I got done eating his bean.
No way. Now,
Nah.
now something I've been wondering about that since the last time you was on, you had your treasure hunt going on.
Yep, still got it going on.
Did somebody find
No?
it?
Yeah, still. Wow, somebody chimed in real quick. Yeah, still. Matter of fact, we got a couple guys up there right now looking for it. They wrote me this morning and said,
Wow.
we're back on the trail. We're on the hunt looking for that monker. Big old box. It's a Pony Express box, 1883, filled with silver Morgans. I got 10 silver bars and I got 1 gold bar in that monker. And
Wow.
yeah, and I told them, if you find that, you can retire. So they're out there right now looking for it. They had to wait because it was snowing. It's up in the northern part of the state, and it's in some rugged country. You better have your wits about you up there, or it'd be the last thing you do. So
I was
hopefully they
wondering.
find it.
We hadn't heard nothing. We talked about it a while back. Was wondering if anybody had found it yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, this was a little harder. They found the other one in about a month.
Right.
And the reason why is they had people combing those hills and gridding off the hillside and the mountains.
Right.
And we had 2 fellas, Josh Surratt and Thomas the Tank Tanaka. Rest in peace, Thomas. And they were up in the hills, and they spent about a month up there solid, and they finally found that one.
Wow.
So we thought we'd make this one a little bit harder. And of course, the payoff is a little bit better on this one because now we got silver bars and gold and a gold bar in there with the coins.
Mhm.
So
How long's this one been going on now, Jeff?
we started this one last year. So we're just going to keep running it and see what happens.
It's been going for a
Do you have
while.
somebody guarding the treasure?
Sounds like
No,
Forrest
it's out on the inside the mountains. Anybody could go up there and find it if they could brave that mountain. I tell you what, that mountain's a mean one. It won't let you up there for nothing. So you like I said, you got to have your wits about you on this one. It's a high reward, but it's also you got to have a lot of physical endurance to get to it.
Right. Oh, that's cool though. I'm surprised. I thought somebody might have found it by now.
Well, they sent photos in, and I tell you what, one couple was darn near standing on top of it. So,
Okay, wait. There's a clue. Find a picture of a couple standing out there. And there.
Yeah.
That's the
well,
spot.
heck, that should do it right there.
Good.
And just start digging, and then when you hear something metal, you got it.
That's cool though. Nobody's found it yet. That's
Nobody's found it. And like I said, they're real close to it. They just, like I said, all the clues are on the map. And you have to put yourself in the mind of a prospector. And then, following the Lost Dutchman mine, the Peralta mines, you got to start figuring this stuff out and look for the landmarks. And then when they all line up, boom, you're right on top of it. So the
How long
map
does it
gets
take
you
you
there.
to plan one of these?
Huh?
How long did it take you to plan it?
6 months, because we actually had to find the right spot, and it had to be on open land that wasn't privately owned. And then we had to find areas that had unique qualities about them so that it would look good on a map. You just can't go find some spot. And then, of course, it has to be within areas of airports and stores and stuff so people can get supplies. It can't be like in the Sierras somewhere. That's just craziness.
Right.
And so we had to put all these factors together when we were developing this new spot. And so we went out for about a month until we found a good spot. And of course, it has to be accessible by 2-wheel drive vehicles. This isn't going to be so extreme that you have to get on dirt bikes and go for it. And then, of course, we had to create an area that had a spot for people to park, so people coming up there, because it is open land, it doesn't create a bottleneck. So you have all these factors.
Yeah.
And then once we got to the spot, it had to be something that was a little tricky, but not so tricky that nobody could find it. Now, the guy that was standing on it, he got close to it, but he had to quit because of all this pandemic craziness.
Oh, wow.
So, and then of course it started, you know, it's snowing, it's in a higher elevation. And now that the snows have thawed and he can come out, they're up there right now looking for it. So,
But
and
like
yeah,
you said,
People
we
sign
can't get
waivers
to
or-
it by a car.
yeah, there's a waiver on there when you go to buy the map. It's, you know, and it basically just says if you get hurt or killed, it's your own fault. just sending out the gene pool, boy. But it's a good treasure, and like I said, each map comes with a key, and I think I got a lock around here somewhere. Yeah, there's a lock right there. So each one has one of these old time locks.
Oh, cool.
That,
I can pick that too.
and it's a Pony Express box, and it's good size. Of course, you know you've seen the last one, and it's a heavy monker. I feel sorry for the guy who does find it because that thing must weigh 100 pounds. So
Oh, wow.
it took me 4 trips to go up that mountain just to get it up there.
Wait,
like,
did you say it was in a Pony Express box?
Yeah, it's a Pony Express box, big old metal Pony Express box.
Okay, I'm going to say this because it's not on a Gold Prospector space, but this is my own thing. If you see anything in that kind of box, just take what's out in the middle and leave the box.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can do that too. I'm sure whoever finds is gonna see that box and then lose their mind.
I bet they will.
So
But
it's
it's in a
treasure
spot.
hunt oh, sorry.
Huh?
It's a treasure hunt with a map and X marks the spot. It isn't like like you go to this, you find the first clue, and if you don't find the first clue, you can't get to the next one. It's nothing like that, is it?
Okay, well, I'll spill the beans. So the way it works, it's really simple. I didn't want to make it too hard and complicated. So you got 10 clues at the start. The 10 clues get you to within the mountain range that you need to go. So when the first 10 clues are easy. Anybody with half a brain cell could figure it out. And everybody has. And so it takes you to the mountain where you start. And then the map takes you from there. So you have to line up all the key points of interest that you see in the mountains and stuff, and it lines up with what you got on the map. And then there's an actual line that you have to walk, and you actually see clues that we left along the way. You know, you got old miners, gold pans and pickaxes in the trees, all kinds of stuff like they did back in the day, like for the Rhodes mine. And so you're following the little lines up the map, and then there's an X that takes you right into one of the old grave sites. Now, if you've seen the original post that we made last year, it's if you've seen the good and the bad, the ugly, it's the same grave
I saw
site.
that was creative, yeah.
So you find his grave site, and when you get to that, you know you're standing on where that X is. And then on the back of the map, there's a series of funky drawings that you have to line up. And then when you line them all up, it takes you right to the spot from where you're standing. But you have to stand in that spot. So
Cool.
So now you know, and it's funny because we got 2 graves. Of course, if you remember the movie, there was 2 graves. There's the Unk. There's no name on it. Yeah, it's the unknown. And then right next to it was who? Art Stanton. So you got 2 graves. You find the Unk first, and then you got to find Art Stanton, which isn't hard to do. Everybody's done it. And then from the Art Stanton, then with the map, you line everything up with what's on the map, and it takes you straight to it.
That's pretty good.
Cool.
It is.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's fun.
Creative.
Pretty fun.
Are you starting to plan next year's now?
Well, that depends on how this one goes. If nobody finds it by the end of this year, I'm going to give out one last clue, like I said last time, and it's going to be anybody who's been out there is going to know right away what I'm talking about. It'll be a super clue, and
Oh, don't do
in
that.
conjunction with the map, they should be able to find it because I want them to find it.
Right.
So
Well, that's
I'm not like Forrest Finn sitting back laughing about a mysterious treasure that probably don't exist.
I would do that. I swear, if you put that much effort and putting it out there and you did all your homework and you put it where it is, I would so be like that. Let people get close to it, but let the person that actually finds it. You know?
Yeah, I
don't
want
know.
them to find it. And they're having a lot of fun out there finding it. And of course, we left we had to have fun with him. So we brought a whole bunch of Slim's junk that he's got around the cabin here, old cans and stuff, and we buried them all over the place like landmines. So they'd be going crazy with that metal detector. So they'd be, oh, I got it. No, you got one of his beer cans.
How many nickels you throw out there?
Oh, well, actually, there we threw out just shards of old rusty metal because I figured that's harder to find. That'll mess your detector up good. And so, of course, over by one of the grave sites, we buried this big old chunk of metal. We found it at one of the mining sites, and it's about the same size as the box. That way, it would drive them crazy, thinking they were on it.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh yeah, we gotta have fun with them. You should see. It looks like a bombing range out there now. There's holes everywhere.
Nobody fills them back in.
Oh yeah, right. What world do you live in? They're out looking for treasure. They don't care about holes.
Yeah, good.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh man, so all you gotta do is find a mountain with a bunch of holes on it, and maybe you could find it.
Fly a drone over it and look for it.
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea too. But like I said, a lot of the landmarks are only visible on the ground. That was one of the key things that lines up with your maps. When you're in the right spot, you'll see how everything lines up perfectly.
All right.
So, and it's just a matter of like I said, you got a special drawings on the back that tell you exactly where you're supposed to go.
That's cool though. That would be a fun treasure to find.
Yep. So like I said, we did our homework on this one.
Yeah.
And we threw in a couple landmines just for fun.
You got to have fun with it. And
Heck yeah, that's what it's all about.
yeah, you don't want it to be too easy.
Oh no, of course not.
It didn't get shut down during COVID, did it? Was it still going or?
No, I told them they can go out there anytime they want. All they got to do is show me a photo of it and where they got it. I'll know just by looking.
Right.
And I want them to send in the photo, and I want them to, so I can tell everybody to stop looking. Because I think that'd be kind of mean. Somebody find it and not say nothing.
It would be. That would be kind of cool.
That's not, you know what? That's how most treasures are taken back, because they have to say something.
Right.
If I found all that, I'd be going.
And to be, if you looked at the last treasure hunt, just to ensure that the people are I'm just keeping them honest here, is I put something inside that box. It's got a number on it, and you got to tell me that number, or else I don't believe you.
Oh.
But it corresponds with the movie Good, Bad, Ugly, so everything ties in with each other.
Everything ties in with the movie.
He's got a dog tag in the box. You got to report the number, or you didn't find it. That's great.
Working, whatever works, right?
That's great.
It's a lot of fun, though. I like them. I always like a good treasure hunt.
Heck yeah, that's cool.
Hey, where can they find this treasure hunt and the map and all this?
Oh, it's on the Patreon site. It's in Slim's store. He's got his own store now, and some of his cool stuff is in there. And you go into the store. Of course, you got to be a premium patron to get in, because that's my way of saying thank you to them for helping me. So I'm going to help them. So they go into the store, and there's a section there, and there's a picture of the box, what they're looking for. Of course, a mock map. It's not the real map. And, and of course, there's a video of me trying to outrun a train. So with that darn box. Well, something like that is driving by, and the guy in the back's trying to grab my hat. I don't know why he did that.
I'll have to check that out.
It's pretty cool. I like it. We had a lot of fun with it.
But if somebody is hearing about this now for the first time, they can still get in on it, can't they?
Yeah, anybody can get in on it. All you gotta do is sign up as premium patron. It's only $10 a month. It's nothing. You go right in there. You get the map. You go out hunting. It's not hard to get to a two-wheel drive vehicle. We made sure it was accessible by two-wheel drive. And then you park. There's we even made it easy, so there's a parking space for you guys to park. And then from there, you just gotta, you gotta really climb your booty off.
You just tell me where it's at. Thanks, bro.
I just tell.
Yeah, that should be enough right there. Heck, man, what more do you want?
Be going and finding this. Scott, you're in Arizona. You should be signing up and going and looking for this thing, man.
Well, I'm in Arizona, but it's kind of hot, man.
Oh, come on. This is
I can tell you this much: it's located up in the mountains, and the elevation is about 8,000 or 9,000 feet.
So it's cooler up there.
Oh yeah,
won't be
it's
hot.
a lot cooler. That was something else that we wanted too, is because I didn't want something that was limited seasonally, and of course we were trying to fight, weigh it between, okay, how much snow they're going to get in the wintertime versus how hot is it going to be in the summertime. So that was a factor too we had to consider, so it could be almost year round.
So you're on the cusp.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't get a lot of snow up there this year, but the COVID really wiped everything out. So, like I said, everybody, I got like two or three guys up there right now looking for it, and they're pretty good too. They got their detectors out, and I'm surprised they don't got their dowsing rods out looking for that darn thing.
Everything. You throw the whole arsenal at it. Don't just use one thing. Use your stones, your dowsing rod,
Anything.
anything.
I tell you,
Anything. Everything.
I'll be rubbing Slim's booty just to get the answer. Come on now.
No, right? It's like,
You know what? You know who's going to find this treasure? It's going to be some little girl that just happened to trip over a freaking handle on a box.
Yeah, I know. Well, if that little girl can make it up the side of that mountain, it's all hers. Because I tell you what, it took the wind out of me 4 times. I don't want to go back up there.
You do need a metal detector, right? You can't.
Oh, yeah. You're going in blind if you don't have one.
Dowsing rods and a shovel.
That's right.
Yeah, but no, wait a minute. You don't have to have a metal detector because you got the map that tells you where it's at.
It gets you, it gets you within the location, but it's not going to sit you right on top. You're going to have to metal detect to see where it's at under your feet, or you'll start digging everywhere.
Now, what kind of map is that?
1 kilometer square area.
It gets you within, I think it's 20 feet.
see, that's
Oh, okay. Then you just got to dig a big hole, Scott.
20 foot in diameter.
20 foot all around. Yeah.
Like I said, we had one gentleman standing right on top of it. I don't know why he didn't find it. I don't think he brought his metal detector with him. And I saw the photos. I'm like, oh, he's got it for sure. But no, because I still can't find. I'm like, dude, if you only knew.
That'd be so bummed.
Oh, I can't wait for to see the look on his face.
yeah, it'd be rough.
I think his wife was using it that day because there was a couple. They were up there.
I wouldn't want to know afterwards. If somebody, I wouldn't want to know.
Yeah, but you know what? It is a treasure hunt.
Right.
Yep. And we had to make it somewhat challenging too, because you can't have something simple. You just walk up to and go, I found it. But I don't want to make it so hard like the roads or Lost Roads or the Forest Spin or
Oak Island.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Jeff, you got to remember that there was like even BLM roads that get closed down, they're still marked. You can still find them on a map. That's the research part. So I think the treasure's cool.
Oh yeah, you can, and like I said, you can go out there now. I mean, they're starting to ease restrictions. So if you need, to eat something, you can get takeout, and it's not far from a small town. That way, you can get fuel and food and whatever you need, or even stay the night there if you want. So we wanted to make it somewhat easy, but not to the point where it's a 5-year-old could find it.
Right.
And do you have a honey pot for people?
I got a honey pot for me, not for people. I don't want to smell other people's stuff. What's the matter with you? That's just nasty.
It ain't a community honey pot.
No, I won't even let Slim sit on this one. That's my honey pot. So I want to be familiar with what I'm smelling.
That's your honey.
That's right. And the sad part is I'm going to have to dip it myself. I know it. I just know it.
You're going to have to.
Yeah.
How else are you going to get to do it?
I don't know. I'll probably dump it into the cave system and let the worm people feed on it.
There you go.
It's fertilizer, right?
That's right. I heard they like that stuff. They're probably swimming in it down there.
You can actually hear water running now, can't you?
Yeah, we're getting in real close. We can hear that water. It's got me spooked a little. I hope I'm not sitting on a big chasm. I'll be drilling and pop through. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I'm going for a ride into cocoa wheat.
You just found another aquifer.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully I don't find dead bodies down there from when the Hoffas were running the operation.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't want to
Look at your
know. but
friend.
Just give me the gold. That's all I want.
But hey, I will ask you one thing. Since it's got hot now, and I know Nevada's getting warm and everything like that, you have you went from above ground to underground? Because we know you do a lot of underground mining. So.
Oh yeah, we're going underground. As soon as we get the okay to let people in for tours, we got some hard rock set up for them. We got some new claims for them. I got one that's gonna blow their socks off. They're gonna have to take it. I won't let the cat out of the bag, but they got to take a test first, almost like an M-shot test, because I don't want them down there and getting hurt. I mean, the real deal here. And this one drops down about 500 feet. Wow. And if they don't know what they're doing, that'll be the last hole they ever go into. So we got that one set up as soon as we get the okay to get people together. And then I got a couple new drift mines that we found that I'm going to have them work too if they want to get into that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so those are real hard to find. They're Chinese tunnels. They're real tiny in there.
No.
Lots of activities.
Oh yeah.
You got a lot of weight on your shoulders because you do that, right? I mean, that's pretty heavy weight to take.
It's not bad. It's something I like to do, so I don't really feel it. Right. Heck, if I could put wheels on this cabin, we'd be on the road right now looking for more. So
I know, but I mean, you always got those people that come in that just want to do what you're not supposed to do and stuff on tours. Have you ever had that? Doing what we're not supposed to do? I don't know. I mean, there's not much I don't do that I'm not supposed to do, but not you, but the people on tour. Like they don't go down this way, but they'll go down that way just to see and come back and.
Oh well, no, that's why we got waivers and disclaimers. So they signed this off. It's a legal form, and it says right on there, it's a long length. It's like a whole page, and they got to sign everything. And if they get hurt, killed, or maimed in the process, the family or anybody can't come after me. This is the real deal, and I haven't signed it because there's some situations like one of these tours we were popping rocks using something interesting. I'll just leave it at that. And I didn't want anybody to get hit with fly rock, and then their family coming after me for that. So, and then of course I didn't want anyone drowning. I've had a few slabs of rock come off the back when they were barring down after we blew around, and we got that on film. And one guy almost got his ankle crushed, and so luckily we pulled him out of the way as he's barring down, because I told him to hold that bar at the end, don't choke up on it. And he's barring down, and you can hear those slabs are hollow. I'm like, you hear a hollow sound, it's getting ready to go. And I guess he wasn't listening, and so I pulled him back, and he's barring down, and the one slab came. It was like a keystone, and the rest of them came down behind it. It took a whole day to bust those slabs up with sledgehammers just to get back into the pit. So it's the real deal. I mean, I always tell them this ain't Disneyland. I try to offer the most accurate and the most realistic experience you'll ever have. So, just short of getting MSHA approved, we were trying to get full-size trommels and excavators set up for another tour. But the problem is I got to jump through hoops for that, get people actually certified before I can throw them on that equipment. Yeah. So I got to walk a tight rope on this stuff.
Right. Oh yeah, you do.
That's like myself. I've had a lot of people ask me if I'll walk them in a mine. I'm like, no, because I don't do it myself. So I'm not going to walk you in there.
Right.
Yeah. I don't trust it. I know, if the floor is pretty barren, you're pretty good in the rock, but if you see the stuff on the bottom, don't do it.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
No mines for me.
Yeah.
No, I live down there.
Oh, you do, dude.
Yeah, but you got the freaking the information to do that though too. So
yeah, basically raised in this kind of thing since I was 10. So
yeah, they creep me out.
Really? Wow, I feel right at home down there. I'll tell you what creeps me out is Slim waking me up in the middle of the night, telling me how crazy. Freaks me out.
How about Tommy knockers? Have you heard any?
Yeah, they're down there all the time. I don't care what people say. They can mock me all day long. They're down there and they'll mess with you hard. They're trying to get me mad. Oh, they like it when I'm mad. So they'll go ahead and tie my feet up with wire, some of our debt wire, or they'll mess with my tools or have timbers moving around on me. I hate that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay calm. What do you want? Do you want some of this bread? Because they love bread.
Give them.
So I leave little pieces of bread down there for him, and I ask him, please tell me what you want, because I don't know. I can't read your mind.
Right.
Not a mind reader, but they're real. I hear them down there. Matter of fact, we were doing a show for Discovery Channel before this COVID stuff happened. I took them in one of my mines up north, and sure enough, all the camera equipment shut off, all the lights shut off, and you could hear him thumping up in through the back there.
Wow.
And the guy thought that because I told him, he gave me that same look I get all the time, like I've just lost my mind and I need some psychiatric help. But I says, okay, you can mock them all day long, but they'll get you. They'll get you good, boy. So we were in there, and sure enough, hey, my camera shut off. Keep talking, boy. And the other guy, there was 2 cameramen in there. His shut off, and then we were drilling, getting ready to load around. All the lights shut off, and it was deathly quiet, and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I said, yeah. Now what you gonna do? I says, listen, and it's on film too. You can actually hear something through the rock.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
it's almost like somebody's got a hammer or something, maybe down below, tapping on it. And so he's like, are you doing that? I'm saying, yeah, I'm doing that. How am I doing? I can't even see you. How am I doing that? What did I do? Crawl down a hole while you were filming? So I told him it's real, and he should have seen the look on his face. He was like petrified. I said, yeah, they're in here and they're listening to you. So I don't mock them at all. They're real. I don't want to make the spirits mad at all.
That's hilarious.
Have you spent the night down there ever?
Oh yeah, you have to. Think about it, the logistics of it. You only got so much time to dig, and so you make the most of it, and you got a videotape on top of it. Woo! You ever try to dig and videotape? Oh,
tried to dredge
it'll
it.
test your metal. So
Yes,
there's
not
been
right.
times we'll do a couple episodes in one shot, just because I can't keep driving out there every single day. We go out there
Right.
for a weekend or 2 or 3 days. I'll get down in there and I'll sleep right down there because we have a slusher we installed down there. And so I'll back the slusher up into the home position or all the way down to the cave. And I'll just lay right there in that slusher chute that we have. It's real comfortable.
What's a slusher?
A slusher is like a mechanical bucket that you can run back and forth on cables. And it basically brings the muck down from wherever. You can either bring it up or bring it down. Most of the time it brings it down from the stopes, and you'll slush it down into an ore bin or ore pass, sorry. And then that will feed into a chute. And then you can come by, that's a transfer point, and then you can pick it up with a wheelbarrow, or in our case, we pick it up with a small skip cart that's got 5-gallon buckets on it. So
that's not a muck bucket though.
No, slushers are just mechanical. Like, think of a mechanical hoe that brings the muck up to a certain point.
Like a bucket line.
Yeah. If you remember the old bucket lines they used to use for coal mining, the seams, the huge ones, it's like a small version of that. And you got 2 cables that operate it. You got one that pulls it in one direction, and you got a cable that pulls it the other direction.
Wow.
So it pulls the bucket back and forth. And you have to work the controls just right, because you got to raise the bucket up by creating a lot of tension on those lines, but not too much, or you'll snap your cable and get your eye taken out. And then you got to draw it back at the same time, drop your bucket down, release the tension, and then have just one pulling while the other one's releasing.
Mhm.
And that's how you work it. Now, in the mines, they're always operated pneumatically on air, and it's a single pack, and they got 2 levers. So that way it releases the cable as it's pulling the cable. And that way the bucket goes out, comes in, goes out, comes in. Well, we don't have one of those controllers. They weigh about 1,000 pounds and operate off a lot of air. So we went ahead and with the knowledge we have, we fabricated one using winches that we got at Harbor Freight. And we just have them tied up, and then we have the controls locked together, and then you just have to finagle the controls just right to get that bucket to move around the way you want. So, and then of course we fabricate everything. I'm certified welder and HVAC. I can build you a car if I wanted to. So we went ahead and built our own slusher and installed it. And that thing must weigh a good 100 pounds. And then we've got on the back of it, we've got a large bolt, an eye bolt, and we put these 50-pound weights, because you want as much weight on the back of that slusher as possible. Most of them are made out of cast iron. And that way it's pulling, it's dropping down and picking up more muck. So That's what we did. It works really good. I love that thing. It saves my back.
So you
So
sleep
is that
scorpion.
ran by somebody above ground, or is it ran by above and below?
No, everything. The only thing that's ran above ground is up in the hoisting shack to get everything up the haulage shaft up to the top. That's run by me. Once I'm done mucking, then I have to go and get over the top of the orb. It's like an orb, and it's just basically a huge chute. I climb over that, and then I get down on it where the controls are, and I operate it myself. And I've done videos on that too. And it's not hard, but if you don't know what you're doing, you'll snap those cables, and that makes for a bad day. So no, everything is operated underground, everything, except for, like I said, the haulage shaft. I go to the bottom of it and I ring the bell, and I got an operator up on top, and he's working the air pumps. He's working the generators, the electricity, and he makes sure that, and I got a telephone up there too. It's an old Vietnam ring style type. I forgot the name of them, but I remember we used to use them when I was in the Army when we were playing soldier in the field. And you can hook them up. We use thermostat line that you can buy at Lowe's, and you can hook them up as long as you want. They got batteries. You crank on it, it rings, you pick it up. And then so I'll let him know, hey, I need you to go get me some powder, or I need this, or I need that. So then he can just put it in a bucket, take it down the skip, and I don't have to go up to the surface.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost like a motor operator on a big dredge.
Yeah, exactly. He's up there for my safety. And then, of course, he's up there to pull the muck up, or I'll have specially marked buckets that we put the good stuff in that I'm going to run through a trauma later.
Right.
Wow. So you sleep, when you stay there for the weekend, you sleep with the scorpions and.
No, I'm up off the ground. I'm not messing with those guys. They hurt. I tell you what, those bark scorpions don't mess around. I tell you what, one got me in the hand, and it felt like my whole arm went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So now, you know what? Now I'll show you what I got now. Look at this. See that? That's right. It's a UV light. And I take that down in the mines with me. I got a whole bank of them that I take down there. I got them set everywhere. You might see them in the videos. And I got one in Slim's cabin too, because Slim's full of critters.
Have you found any more down there since you got bit by that one?
I got one more that was in the haulage shaft. He was sitting on one of the sets where the lagging is. And he was just sitting there looking at me. He didn't even move. I just happened to notice him as I was going up the ladder, the manway to get out. And I thought it was a twig or something. And I'm like, oh, you little bitch. I'm going to get you good. So I got him good.
Jerks.
Little Jackie Gleason humor for you.
So Jeff, how you been dealing with this whole COVID thing?
How am I dealing with it? Look around. I'm losing my damn mind.
He's social distancing right now.
Yeah.
About 100 miles of social distancing. Oh, we're doing the best we can, realistically. Just trying to stay away from people. And, you know, a lot hasn't changed for us because, you know, we don't really socially interact with a lot of people. I'm doing a lot of gold mining. The only time I do is on the tours or when I used to give classes. So we had to shut all that down. So now it's just us, and we go out, maybe 3 of us. Of course, you know, the missus, who's the brains of the outfit, and Nevada Jack and myself, and we'll go out and we'll be looking for new claims or looking for new land, or just to get away. We'll just hop in the vehicle and head to where it's cooler, and just to get away from all this insanity. Because I seen people do stuff I wouldn't even think Slim would do. I mean, what, toilet paper? Really? That's what the big commodity is? Holy cow. I thought I've seen crazy, but I ain't seen crazy like I've seen crazy lately.
Yeah, I agree there. It's been nuts, you know.
Yeah.
You being down by in Vegas, it's like, how's that been? That's probably been strange, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. I tell you, I tell you what, I've gotten real comfortable ordering anything I need on Amazon, because I will not step foot in a Walmart for another year because they've lost their minds. They have. They go in there with trash bags on. What's that all about?
The arrows and.
I hope you got clothes underneath that thing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's just nuts. And And I don't know where these trends come from. You know, buy the toilet paper, buy this, buy that. Really? Last time I checked, diarrhea wasn't a symptom of COVID-19.
I know, but that was the first thing that went.
It's still going too. I tell you, it's gotten such a high commodity price on it. We gamble with that darn thing. We play cards in here all the time. And of course, we don't use gold anymore. We use toilet paper. It seems to have a premium attached to it.
It does nowadays, that's for sure.
I've even thought about, reclaiming some of my toilet paper and selling it online.
Oh.
Slightly used.
Yeah, just dry it out. Just leave it out up there.
Like, that's what we did in the Army. We would just get a square one and put a hole in the middle for your finger. Now, any military folks know what you do next.
Yeah, you got to see that corner piece.
That's right.
It's like COVID. We wash our hands.
Yeah. Shake my hand, will you? I'll give you something extra.
We'll remember that when we meet you.
Nutella.
Nutella.
Hey, Jeff, do you do a lot of, are you like big into metal? I mean, we got our things, like I'm not really big into metal detecting, but are you big into metal detecting out there in Nevada?
We do a lot of metal detecting up north, but mostly Arizona. Arizona is a great state for metal detecting. They've got the chunky nuggets, the coarse gold. I try to get into everything, and I'm still learning constantly. You can never be at the very, very top, because as soon as you relax and drop your guard, here comes some, young whippersnapper pass you up, and then you feel like, some dodo. So I learn as much as I can about metal detectors, and that way I can pass on the information I got. And we use tons of PIs and BLFs out there in Arizona where our claims are at. And they found some good gold out there. Some of them are you've seen the photos, 1 ounces. And I'm still learning about all the new technology like MineLab, especially MineLab. They're coming out with some crazy technology. And I try to stay on top of that. I got dealers that work out there, and they try to tell me what the newest, type of machine is, the newest technology. What are some of the things you can do to modify your machines? Like I got one guy that can take a 4500 GPX and turn it up to a degree where it detects like a 7000. Save yourself a whole boatload of money.
Wow.
So where's your best place in Arizona? I'm not going to say pinpoint, but north, east, west.
Oh, actually, there's a trend that runs from northwest to southeast. You can see it on any geological map. And like I said, it starts up by Gold Basin. It goes down through the Bradshaws, and then it pops out. It starts to fade out down there around Tombstone. And it's got a diagonal line to it. I love everything around the Bradshaws, Congress, Wickenburg. That's a great area. Little San Domingo Wash has got gold in it. And then all the way up till you get to Gold Basin, Lost Basin. You can even find a little bit of gold in the Surbats too. I like that area too. And then down around Oatman has got a little bit of fine gold that's come off the loads. So the whole state right through that trend. Now anything north of that trend, forget it. You ain't gonna find nothing. You go up far enough to Flagstaff, and you're gonna get nothing but sandstone.
Right.
So yeah, I love Arizona. It's got some nice gold.
Where would your best place for just saying somebody starting out? Where would you put them in Arizona?
If they were just starting out and they didn't know me, because I would tell them to come see me. I would say, and this is the tricky part, because right now the gold prices are so high, everybody's claiming it up. I've noticed, and I'm not sidestepping the issue, but I'll get back to you on it. But everybody and their uncle's claiming up land, and I got big companies who are claiming up anything that might have a remote amount of value to it. I can't hardly find any land anymore. So I tell people there's a lot of areas I can recommend, but it's probably claimed up by this point. So you're going to have to become proficient at understanding and learning what is open and what's not. And that's why I take them to landmatters.org, and it works with LR 2000. And so that way they can find their own areas to metal detect and what have you. But a lot of the good stuff's already claimed. So I says, get together with people who are proven experts at this, like Rob's Detector Cells. He's a super good guy. He's got his claims out there. The Gold Lady, she's got her claims out there in Kingman. I've got a bunch of claims up there around Gold Basin. And I say, get together with these people and they'll let you come out on their claims and you can practice on some good ground. Because the worst thing you can do is put somebody out there and say, oh yeah, just go to the Bradshaws. And then, people get mad and maybe even get, shot at. And then they go out looking at bad ground and they think they don't know what they're doing. They're like, oh, the detector must be bad, or I must not know what I'm doing because I can't find any gold, just bullets and BBs, buckshot. I said, no, you have to get that detector over some gold first, fool. And a lot of the the good ground is already claimed up. I'd like to take them out to Stanton. Yeah. Stanton's a good place. Wickenburg, Congress, Antelope Wash, all that area right there. There's still good areas that are not claimed, but you have to be really good. And if you're a beginner, you don't know this stuff. So it's good to get them teamed up with somebody that has a good claim and is willing to share that info. Because I've seen people drop out of this stuff like that because they think, I don't know what I'm doing, or there's no gold. One of the two. I'm like, no, you're just not in a spot that has gold. That's all that is.
Yeah, you might not know what you're doing, and it doesn't have gold. You got to learn. It's a process.
And they get frustrated. They put that thing in the closet and it sits there for years. And then I tell them, no. Yeah. Trust me, there's still a lot of gold out there, but you just have to know where to look and what to look for. And you got to get with somebody who can teach you this stuff. That's why I like to give tours and I like to give classes, because a lot of people, they want to do it, but they don't know how to get started.
It's Scott. See, there you go.
No, I mean, that's just like, there's some of the people that ask me the same things that he's talking about right now. And it is the way it is, it's one way.
Yeah, right. I mean, Shad and I have been looking, and we live in Ohio, so when we go out, it's
you got that glacial gold.
No, we're going to Arizona to look to find something, and
right.
We researched.
It's got to be planned out to the minute.
Boots on the ground, and I mean, it's just process of elimination.
Right. Yes. Sampling is the key to finding gold, and I tell people, get used to that gold pan. That's that's going to be your best friend. And you need to be really articulate with your sampling. And because even big mining companies, they spend millions of dollars and years sampling, doing core samples just to find out what's in the ground. And on a small scale, you should do that too, or you're just wasting your time unless you like digging holes.
Right.
So you sample, and some of it is knowledge, but some of it can be luck too. I've seen guys sample in places that shouldn't have gold and they found it. So you got to sample, and don't think you can go out, the first day sample and find it. It has happened, but you got to be realistic about it. And there's been times I spent 6 months in a location sampling just to find out exactly, okay, I got gold, but I want to find out where the highest concentrations are. That's what it's all about.
Hey, it sucks doing that though, doesn't it?
It does, because you literally got to be a detective, and you're practically living out there. And, we'll take the augers out there and we'll punch holes. And we got a map it looks like somebody shot it with a BB gun, because I got little dots all over it. And then, of course, it'll say AU and the percent that we're finding. And then that way I got kind of an idea what's in the ground. I come back next year and bring in some bigger equipment. And that's what it's all about. You got to find it first, and then find the concentrations, and then come back later when the season is right with the right equipment for best extraction. And that's how the game is played.
Sometimes
you can waste a lot of time doing panning. I mean, really, you can.
Yeah, I've seen some guys take I tell you what, my wife will hear me, oh my God, yelling at the computer. And she's like, what's the matter? I said, this guy's taking 10 minutes to pan. If we were out in the wild, he would starve to death. So I'm like, you should be able to, you got to go through a pan. You shouldn't take more than a couple minutes to pan out a good sized pan. I mean, you're just sampling. Come on, how hard can it be? That's why I say that gold pan is your best friend. You better know how to use that thing. Exactly. And I always recommend the Garrett Super Sleuths, because it's got the big riffles on it, and you can dry pan with that monker too if you have to. So
you're right.
People, you got to know that gold pan, know how to use that gold pan. Don't sit there and swirl that water for 10 minutes. I'm getting tired of seeing that water swirl. You tap that stuff back, boy. Tap it fast. And then get your jeweler's loop out and inspect, because sometimes you're going to be on the tail of some of these pay streaks. So it's not going to be a big nugget that jump. It'd be nice, but it won't be big. So you need to find out, is it coarse? Is it been rounded? What texture does it have? You know, if I dig deeper or to the sides, are there more specs? You got to be a detective. And people don't realize that there's a lot of work involved. This isn't just, hey, I'm going to go out and find gold today. Well, yeah, it looks like that on videos, but there's a lot of work that goes in behind it.
It takes days.
Yeah, I'm always about the homework. And you know what? Like Kevin Hoagland always says, if you don't know how to pan, you're just now wasting your time.
Yeah, you got to. Like I said, I got one right here, my favorite. This is my favorite. This is my go-to pan right here.
Garrett Super Sleuth.
Yep, Garrett Super Sleuth. Woo! I take that thing everywhere. And that's another thing is you got to have your little kit that you take with you because you never know when an opportunity is going to present itself. So you have your prospecting bag with you and you throw it in the vehicle wherever you go. Just have it there as a backup. And you have your sample bags in case you find hard rock. I can't drive the vehicle anymore because I'm rubbernecking looking for new deposits. I'm going to go off the road. So I said, you drive because that's a new highway cut. And I see some interesting looking, deposition layers going on. And I'm going to jump out and sample that. And I have too. And so I'll get that bag and I'll do some chip samples or channel samples across the vein structures. And then I'll put something real quick on there with a magic marker and throw it in the truck and keep going. And then I'll run it through the crushers later. And then that way, and then people are like, well, that's the highway, Jeff. Yeah, I got that. But that vein doesn't stop at the highway.
I can just see me driving by 75 mile an hour. Hey, that guy was sitting there mining and Jeff's up there going,
yeah. It's funny. We did that up at Ely. I got pulled over by the local sheriff. He stopped. He wanted to know what the heck I was doing on the side of the hill. He was worried I was going to fall off and break my neck. So I said, I'm sampling. What's sampling? Here we go. So that was an interesting conversation. By the time he left, though, he didn't know what to make of me because, I'm not exactly right in the brain.
He knew what to make of you. He left.
Yeah,
he
left.
saw Slim in the.
Yeah, he was in the driver's seat. Is that boy got a license? I don't know. Are you gonna put your pants or your hand in your pants to find out?
Just wrong.
Oh, that's just too funny. Ooh, that's just too funny.
You ever delivered? Don't say nothing, boy. Just drop those pants.
Oh, that's funny.
I love that movie.
Seen it too many times, apparently.
Yeah, apparently it's warped my senses.
So Jeff, with all your videos and everything that you've done, what do we have to look for in the future?
Well,
are you going to uplift things? Or are you going to escalate things? Or you going to make it bigger?
We try to keep a list, like a schedule of things we want to get out there. And it's always evolving because people are like, oh, Jeff, what we'd really like to see is this. All right, let me put that on the list. Because I got things I want to show you, but then other people are like, I don't really understand how to file a claim. Or how does the LR 2000 work? Or how do I do this? Or how do I do that? Well, I'm thinking, I thought I covered that, but evidently I need to go back.
No, the filing of the claim was great.
I thought so too, but we had some people write in and say they were confused about how to get an actual map from the county or BLM because it doesn't show it on mylandmatters.org. And of course, it's like, well, of course not. You got to actually, submit in a request for that map. And you have to know what, township and range and all that good stuff. You got to know this stuff. I mean, if you're going to be a miner, come on. So I put that stuff out and I'm ready to move on. And some of them are like, no, could you do a follow-up on it? Okay. But getting back to your question, I want to go over more hard rock stuff. I want to get into more exploration videos and teach people how to actually get out there, boots on the ground, and find their own deposits because the deposits are still there. Some of them are just inches below the surface. And I can tell you a story about one that we found by accident. Actually, a bulldozer found it for us. And I want them to understand that. I want them to understand the more technical side of smelting. Smelting is a lost art form. There's not a lot of people who can cupel or smelt or do assaying. I really like that stuff. And the equipment is available and it's not hard. You just got to be careful. You're working with 2,000 to 2,500 degrees. And I always thought it was magical. You could put in all these different elements, and out comes a base metal, or out comes a, like native gold in a button in a cone. And I always liked that, and I thought we would cover that, especially sulfides. I get a lot of questions about sulfides and how to prep them, either roasting or running special fluxes in there, so you don't have to roast, and so you don't have a mat come out inside of your melt. Because
yeah, but you got a good smelter.
Huh?
You got a good smelter.
Oh, we built our own smelter. So we run that one, and then of course Patrick from Gold Kilns USA, he got a hold of us, and he sent his KK8 and his KK12. I think it's a 12. It's a big monker, and that guy, I tell you what, he knows so much about cupelling and assaying. He even wrote a book about it. And so anytime I have questions, I go to him, and I say, look, I'm having trouble, with these types of base metals or palladium or platinum group metals. How do I do this? And what type of fluxes should I use? And so he's like, let me tell you, that's, I got my own formula. And a lot of assayers are like that. They have their own special formula. It's like recipes they don't let nobody else know about, because it's taken them years to figure this stuff out. And to me, it's a lost art form. And I love it when you can put in a lot of ingredients, and then out comes, you've got your base metals that are oxidized, and then you're going to reduce your noble metals, and then put it in a cone mold, and you get it out, and then you can cupel it down from there if you want to do an assay, or you can just have a nice shiny cube of gold. So
I tell you, some of the videos that I really miss is, and it's a shame they destroyed it. I wish you'd go back and stack them rocks up. Is that one place where you had all those rocks and like you come out from there? I miss those videos like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story behind that. It's a long story, but I'll make it short. So that I love that spot, and we used to love going out there. That's Slim's first cabin, and it was an old Indian cave that we found. I found it years ago, and we found the old the arrowhead chippings everywhere. We collected them all up, and I thought, this would make a good place for a cabin. So let's clean it up. Let's dig it out and rebuild it. So that's what we did, and I really like that. We had our own mailbox out there and everything, and so we put a stove in there with a stovepipe, and we put a sign out front saying, please don't damage or destroy this area. And I thought that would be good to go. I thought people would respect that. Well, you know what? I was wrong. People don't respect that. Matter of fact, they use it as target practice. I came in one day and the thing was destroyed. Looked like somebody put a bag of tannerite in there and sent the stuff to the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I thought, that's just downright disrespectful. Who would do that? I had a sign and everything. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to rebuild this thing. Because if I do, they're just going to come out and do it again. And it's not private property. It's BLM. I can't own it. I can't buy it. I can't put a fence up. And so it's open to anybody who wants to come out there and play havoc on my set. So I said, to heck with it. We're leaving that cabin. It's still out there, but it's a shambles now.
Right.
Yeah. I bet it got bullet ridden quick.
Yeah, it did. It's a mess now. You can't even tell there's anything there. So
Jeff, I saw a post out there about some bulldozer that you got.
Oh no, actually that's a John Deere. That's a 410 John Deere backhoe.
Yeah.
And I love those John Deeres, I tell you what. And it's got the extended boom on it. And we there's a story behind that one too, but I figured I got tired of using a shovel. Let me show you the shovel we use. This is my mucking shovel right here. It's an 1871? See the wooden handle on there? So I got tired of using shovels, so we decided let's move up and start using excavators. Well, actually a backhoe. Excavators are too much. You get those cat excavators, the 320s. Man, they cost a fortune. 220s, 320s. I'm like, is that the price with 3 zeros behind it? So
wait a minute.
I'd love to get one of those.
You're moving dirt. You're moving dirt by machinery now?
Yeah, we're moving dirt with machinery. It has to be on private property now, because if not, then we have to file a poo. That's what I feel like after I file one.
That's why they call it that.
And a bond. Oh, let's see. I'll just throw a number out there. How's 50,000 sound? Oh, that sounds great.
Dude,
So,
are you serious? Is it $50,000 bond?
No, the bonds usually start at 3,000 to 5,000 and then go up from there.
Oh my gosh.
And oh man, I could tell you stories about bonds. And all the fun that comes with them. As soon as you go commercial, woo! See that? That's what they got out there for you. Come on, come on. Put some money in there.
Yeah.
So you do it on private property and they don't mess with you.
Okay, that's cool. So you like your new John Deere?
Yeah, I love that thing. I'll tell you what, I dig big holes with that thing. Problem is I get all gung ho. I'm still a little wet behind the ears on that thing, as you can tell. So, you know, I'm moving all over. You know, the thing they don't tell you about those John Deeres is they're little, their center of gravity is a little high. So you go around corners on them, they have a tendency to want to roll over on you. So I found that out the hard way.
Yep.
So
that's why they have a roll bar.
Yeah. I was going to get a parachute for mine. So
that's why they always tell you, don't get an 8 shovel when you're going to get a 6.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm still learning on that thing. I love that thing. And it makes easy work out of digging holes.
It'd be cool.
So,
it'd be cool.
The only problem is you'll learn this like I did, is it's like when you're building a nice car and you decide, you know what, I'm tired of a 4-cylinder, I'm going to put a V8 in that darn thing. Well, you know what, you can't just put a V8 in it and walk away. You got to upgrade the whole powertrain, the whole thing. Because, you know, you could have driveline that might not be able to handle that torque, or the transmission. Same thing with mining. Oh, I got myself a big scooper now. Yeah, well, what are you going to put it in? You can't put it in that little tiny, you know, homemade trommel. You got to buy the real thing. And now you got to get the pumps, and you got to get the ponds, and you got to get all the stuff that goes with it. So,
now, are you more dry working now than you are wet, like within the last year? Because it's not been a wet year.
Last year wasn't too bad. We had a lot of snow melt up in Osceola. We did pretty good up there. But yeah, we do a lot of dry work. What we try to do is build our recirc ponds. We'll line them, and then we'll just pump them. We'll have 2 ponds, and then that way most of the muck will settle out in the first pond, and then it'll spill over into the second pond, then we'll pump it up from there. So we try to build those ponds, but there's a limit to how big you can build those based on BLM requirements.
Is that BLM or EPA?
Yeah, well, 3 letters is all you need to know. FBI, CIA, doesn't matter. They all doing this.
You know where I'm at.
So yeah, we're trying to go bigger. It's a little more expensive than I thought.
So are we going to see you on Gold Rush in like the next year or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna grow my beard down to here, and I'm gonna sing The Sound of Silence with black toenails. How do you like that?
I like it.
Try to get them on a dredge. What I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
Get Jeff on a dredge?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you know his gun won't fire underwater.
Yeah, you know, it'd be like an oil stain floating on that water because I'm not used to water. I mean, might have to change my clothes and my drawers. I tell you, the last dredging tour we had, I tell you, I had to get some of these waders that go up to your chest because I'm not used to water.
Right.
And that's snow melt coming down off that mountain. And I tell you, you get your hands in there and like in 30 seconds, they're bright red and they feel like they're about to burn and fall off. And I'm like, what the hell? Who would want to do this? This is craziness. They're like, no, just trust me. Put a glove on, and even though the water's in there, you'll stay warm. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, they thought I was gonna go out looking for snipe, so they gave me 2 rocks. Come on, snipe, come on. So I did that, and I thought, oh well, he said I'd stay warm. Got in the water, I got even colder. Like, what the hell, man? They're laughing at me like I'm some schoolgirl. That's not funny. That's not right. All right, fine. You get in the water. I'll stay out here and supervise.
There you go.
Should have got them dredge gloves.
You got caught up in the old
keep your hands
position.
warm.
I didn't know. They didn't tell me. I said, we're having bring your dredges, bring your equipment. So they're like, well, we need you to help us set up the dredge. Wink, wink. Okay. What do I do? We got to get down in the water with us. All right. I got my hip waders on. I'll get in there. Yeah, right. They didn't tell me about these special gloves you got to have on. It's like walking on the moon in that water. You trip on a rock, you go right in. Yeah, they don't feel good either. You feel like you're carrying 100-pound bags in your boots as you're walking through there.
Oh, you're killing me.
Yeah. Luckily there was gold there, or else I would have just packed up and left. I was like, give me that dry washer. I keep my feet dry.
Yeah, but you always got the snakes and everything else around too.
Yeah, I know. It's half a dozen in one hand, 6 in the other. Which way you want to go?
Hey, in the last week, have you been out doing anything with the dry washer and seeing snakes or no?
No, we shot some video for Instagram and Facebook. We went up to Osceola looking for some new land, and of course the snakes are coming out, and we caught one on the road. No big deal. He wasn't venomous or anything, so we just gave him a scoot across the road to get him off. I hate to see those things get killed, and they're starting to come out. And but no, we haven't done anything serious. If we're not looking for land, I gotta get down and into the drift mine and keep mining, because I got tons of stuff down there that needs to be moved, and I can only have so many people help me, because loose lips sink ships. I can only have so many people in my circle. I get somebody down there going, I know where the drift mine's at. Yeah, I know. And I got to go find another one.
Now, do you like doing placer mining or underground better?
I get that question all the time, and I have to say I'm born bred hard rock miner.
Oh my God.
My daddy started me hard rock mining when I was 10, and he's second generation, and I guess that makes me third generation. And he took me out to White Hills, Arizona, and that's when they still had buildings and stuff like that, and Rosie's Den before it caught fire. And we went out there, and he took me to one of the old silver mines. He said, "You can find your way out, boy. You're doing good." So at first I was scared, but I'm like, you know what? I really like this. And so I got hooked. And then, of course, my mom hated that because I was digging holes everywhere. She thought I was going to die down there. And so he says, okay, if you really like this stuff, you need to get an education. I'm going to teach you what I can, but that's limited. You're going to have to go to school to understand this stuff. Right. So that's what I did. And I really like hard rock because I'm seeing rock and vein structures that haven't been seen by any human. And the payoff is huge. Now, don't get me wrong, placer's good too. That's poor man's gold right there. But a lot of the known places have been hit so hard that it's hard to find good spots anymore. So yeah, if I can get up underneath the vein structure, I could hit it really big down there. Yes, I know the investments are huge, but so are the rewards. And I just feel, like I said, I feel at home down there, and I really like it. So I guess you could say I'm a hard rock miner, through and through. Placer's good, but I don't know, that hard rock does something for me.
Hey,
I know what you're thinking.
Behind
I'm thinking it.
Here's the coordinates above me to the drift mine if anyone's looking.
Well, hold on, let me write it down so I don't get lost next time I go out there.
That's hilarious. That is freaking hilarious.
Jeff, you haven't run across any more turtles, have you?
No, and if I do, guess what? I'm going to look the other way. I'm turning a blind eye to those monkers. They make me mad. They're doing that to me on purpose. They're just sitting back. That same thing happened to me when we were out looking up at Red Rock one day, and it says, "Don't feed the burros, $500 fine." I'm like, oh, that's a cruel thing. So we saw a burro, and my wife says, "Don't feed him. Don't feed him." Who's going to catch me? So I got there and feed him. I kid you not. Bam! Ranger was right there behind me.
Really?
He goes, now here's the funny part. So he goes, there's a reason why we don't feed these, because if they get hit, they can hurt people and damage their cars, and I have to shoot them, and I don't like doing that. And I said, it's only one. And he goes, look behind you. I swear they must have had a cue card because there was 20 of them.
They were taking a number, man. And
I looked at him, I says, you're doing that on purpose, aren't you? And he says, just don't feed them, boy, or I'll give you a fine. All right, fair enough, fair enough. I won't ever feed one again. If I do, I'll just throw it out the window as I'm driving by.
You know what? What's really funny is because when I seen you did that turtle video, and I was I picked up maybe 3 or 4.
There you go. You better be careful. Those boys don't play fair.
I know, but I was like, I might not want to take video of this. And when I seen your video, I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah, BLM they don't play fair. I'll tell you that right now. And they got their own court system. I didn't know that. Would you like me to elaborate on that?
Please.
All right, real quick.
people
I know
know.
some of you've heard this story, but they saw my video, and obviously it rubbed somebody up on top the wrong way. And so they decided, hey, instead of just telling this guy nicely to drop his videos, we're going to pay him a visit at his house. We're going to send 2 federal agents that look like ATF agents beating on his door at 6 a.m. on a Saturday and scare the hell out of him. And then we're going to serve him with warrants too on top of that. And so then they're going to drag my butt into court in a federal court, which was down in Barstow at the military logistics base. I'm like, what kind of court system is this? They said, you might want to bring a lawyer. I'm like, oh, thanks. Is there anything else I should know? So we get in there, and it's a court like I've never seen. They got all the federal agents there with all their flak vests and M16s sitting there looking at you, trying to eyeball you and stare you down. And then they got it looks like an attorney general or something in there. And then the judge comes in, and he hears 2 cases. Then he sits down and takes his robe off, goes back in the back room, has a cup of coffee. And you're sitting there going, okay, do we leave? Do we stay? Then he comes back out, puts the robe on. All right, next 2. I was in there till 6 a.m. and they pulled me in there at 9 o'clock. And they got one guy for speeding on a dirt road. I was like, what? So then they came to me and they said, okay, we got photo evidence of you touching turtles, and you had a metal detector in a national preserve, and you're running a business on a national preserve. And I'm like, a business? I don't got a business out there. They said, what do you say at the end of your video? I said, AskJeffWilliams.com. You're running a business. Oh. So I said,
that's
okay.
bull crap.
Oh,
Wow.
it goes further than that, but I won't get into it too far. So I said, all right. Okay, I know how this goes. What do I got to do? What do you want me to do to make this right? And all bets are off. Whatever you want, just don't tell my wife, okay? So, so they said, okay, here's the gist. We want you to do this list of things for us, and we'll drop the charges. No fines, no jail time, no nothing.
No.
I'm like, all right, well, let me read the list before I agree to it. So I read the list. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can do that too. And so they said, okay, go ahead and do that, and we'll drop the charges. So I go ahead and do that. I kid you not. We're getting ready to fly out to Mexico City, and I get warrants in the front door. My wife is freaking out. And what happened was the attorney general forgot to drop the charges even after I did all the list. So then I had to do an emergency phone call to the federal agents, who got an emergency call to the attorney general, so that they could hurry and drop the warrant so I could get on a plane, because they won't let you on a plane. I was like, you got it. This is, I was waiting for, I kid you not, I was waiting for the guy who runs, what's that one show with the candid camera? The poke out day. I got you, boy. How do you like them beans?
So you're telling me you were federally charged as a turtle killer?
Yeah, because I tapped him on his back and said, have a nice day. And that's exactly what I did.
You touch him.
And I says, so the agent that I was working with, now he's a super cool guy. I really like him, and I still stay in touch with him, because it's always nice to have somebody on the inside in your corner.
Yeah.
So I talk to him frequently. His name's Brian. He's a super nice guy. And Brian, if you're watching this, thank you. I appreciate your help in this, because he really bent over backwards to try to get me out of this bind. Because somebody up on top, he said, I don't know what you did, Jeff, but you really pissed somebody off, because we don't normally do this. I'm like, hey, guys. Oh, I got friends in high places, don't I? So I says, well, he goes, if I need your help in the future, can I count on it? I said, you better believe it. Can I count on your help too? So we stay in contact with each other. He's a good old boy. I like him. And he helped me through this whole thing. And so I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I'm just saying, if you go through this, be prepared for some insanity. But for the most part, he says they just send out a request on an email and say, we saw this. Would you please not, advocate touching wildlife, especially on a preserve, and pull the videos. That's what they normally do. But I tell you what, I gave somebody a wild hair, and I don't know who it is, and I'm sorry if I did. Why don't you talk to me about it, and we can be friends?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Welcome to the system.
You know what's funny is I got one picture on my Facebook. It's got with a Gila monster, and I was moving it out of the road because I was coming up, and there's like 4 other people behind me.
Right.
He was like, you should never touch him. I'm like, either I move him or he's going to get ran over. So which one do you got to go on that? I mean,
I asked him that too. I says, all right, so what do I do? You know, because we go out to the preserve all the time, you know, Mojave National Preserve. And they says, well, unless that turtle is in absolute danger, you don't touch it. And I'm like, how do you justify, you know, or the terminology of that? You know, he's on the road.
For help?
Do I, you know, put a white flag on the back of his shell? I don't know. So I tell my wife, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. If you see a turtle, just tell me and I'll look the other way. I want to see this because I don't want to get caught on some webcam or some range camera, you know, trying to help out some poor innocent turtle and then, you know, have to go through this again. Because
well, I hate to tell people, if you've been around turtles, they really don't rush off that fast.
Just walk away.
Yeah. Don't say
you can't even
go boo and they
turtle,
take
huh?
off. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. So
you're not even
I
allowed
think what
to
happened was that it was in a national preserve, and that's what got everybody excited. If it's just out wherever, it's not a super big deal. But you know, we were in a national preserve, and so that was like, you know, a big no-no. Supposedly. Yeah, and that's why people ask, "Hey Jeff, why'd you make that boring video about the national preserve? You didn't figure it out?" Well,
yeah, don't pick up a turtle.
Exactly. You just leave them be.
You should have took the whole process of the turtle.
So, and like I said, let me reiterate it. You know, there's some nice folks in BLM. I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I just saying the system is weird and different, and I've never seen anything like it. And it had me a little bit scared because the guy in front of me, I thought he was going to prison for speeding on a dirt road. So,
how long was you with the turtle?
Yeah, I know, right? Then they're looking at me, ooh, turtle killer, you're going for life.
Right? That's all you.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, I'm glad you come through.
Yeah, I'm glad too, because I was a bit nervous on that one because I never played with those guys. You know, they got all the power in the world. How are you going to beat them?
Right, exactly.
They got deep pockets, deeper than mine anyway. So.
That's craziness. Now, Jeff, have you done any more ancient alien shows lately, or?
We did one last year. You probably started seeing some of the episodes.
Yep.
It's the one where I'm talking about the geology of stones. You know, being some stones have certain qualities to them, magnetic qualities. Other stones, why they would use these stones in sacred sites, things of this nature. So we did about 10 different topics for 3 different shows, and they'll bleed them out slowly. So you'll see my bright smiley face there.
Yeah, I seen you on one. I was like, boy, Jeff cleans up pretty well.
That's my clone baby. Google Gaga clone baby. So, you know, and I was so tempted to throw one of those in going, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So come on, let's go. But they were watching me like a hog. They didn't want me to plug anything.
Oh, of course not. But it's cool that you get to do them, you know?
Yeah. I had a good old time. I met some really nice folks doing those shows. And I saw some stuff I ain't never seen before. One guy came in and he said he was an expert on imprinting some type of computer information on DNA. And I've never seen anything like that. He showed me these little crystal, they look like poker chips. And he said all of Wikipedia is on that poker chip. It's a little crystal. And that's for all the technology, this nanotechnology. And then he showed me a little like, it looked like a test tube with some blood in the bottom. And he said, all of Wikipedia is on that. I'm like, how did you put that onto that DNA? He goes, oh, it's a long process, but that's where everything's going. And eventually they're going to use that for artificial intelligence.
Right.
See, Jeff, you should have gave him those little itty bitty screws and stuff that I sent you in that dirt.
Oh yeah, I should have done that.
I still like to find out what that is.
Yeah, I know. I looked at those real close like. And those don't look like anything that are naturally occurring. They look like tiny little screws, like you said.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what those are.
And it's coming from like 50 to 70 feet deep in the rock.
So most of that stuff was brought down from the Canadian Shield. So question is what the heck is it?
Oh, God.
So Oh, yeah, I know. Oak Island. The Knights Templar put those in there. So I got a piece of wood to back it up.
All right. Now you said it. What's your theory on that Oak Island, Jeff?
What's my theory on what?
Oak Island.
Oak Island? Oh my gosh, the money pit. I researched that a little bit, but then when they turned the show into it with all this drama, I was like, I lost interest in it. I don't know if it's Captain Kidd's treasure or the Knights Templar, or I don't know, somebody having fun with a prank. But it just seems that all the years that they've been poking into that thing, they should at least found something significant. I mean, something with the technology we have today, but it's like, it just, I don't know. I lost interest in it. I was interested in the beginning when the story first broke about those kids finding it.
Right. I guess we got a caller, Jeff. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Hello.
It's probably BLM going to yell at me.
All right, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Brian Bedard, calling from Iowa.
Hey, Brian. How are you?
Hey, Brian. How the heck are you?
Bad. I was wondering, you guys were talking about that ancient alien, and I was flipping through a couple of months, and I seen a younger Jeff Williams on there.
Younger.
I just caught the last little bit. It was about some sphere that.
Oh yeah, those sphere balls they found in Florida, and that was an interesting topic. How the balls would react to music, and they put them on tabletops, and they would never go off the edge of the tabletop. And sometimes the balls would follow them around in the house. And they found out the balls were hollow. They X-rayed them, but they weren't sure what was inside. There were some theories on it. But to this day, the spheres that they found, they don't know where they're at anymore. The people who own them got tired of all the publicity, and so they just basically dropped off, the map, so they wouldn't get all that publicity and get harassed about them, because a lot of people were saying, oh, it's a hoax and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, people really going to put themselves out there just for a hoax so they can get ridiculed all day long. So that's I don't know what's in them. There's a lot of theories on what's inside. I got something on my screen that says Shad.
I don't know if they were like natural occurring, or if somebody found it somewhere. I thought it was something like somebody had found it after a forest fire or something weird like that.
Yeah, exactly. The couple that lives out there was a fire that burned through there, and they were checking their property, and that's when they found the spheres. And they took one home because it was such a unique object. They weren't sure if it was from the local fishermen, the boats or something like that. Maybe it fallen off. But that's when they started realizing it had weird properties to it. And there was even a point in time where the doors and stuff would open and close, and strange things would happen in that house. And of course, then the one guy the owner, he plays guitar. He started playing music, and the thing started reacting to it. And he put it on the table, and it would roll to the edge and stop before it fell off the edge. And at one point, it was following them around in the house. So it was kind of freaky. So they got a hold of their local newspaper to tell them about it. And of course, you know what happens after that. Everybody and their uncle comes out and want to see what's going on. And they said, to heck with that. We're not going to get involved with that craziness. So that's all I know about it. I wish I knew more, because it's an interesting story, but it's always hard to get through the facts versus fictions. There's always craziness out there, and then there's the truth, and you just got to figure out there's the truth and there's the truth. Which one is it?
That's cool though. Brian, that help you out?
Yeah. Oh, I could talk volumes about paranormal activity, especially up there at Skinwalker Ranch. Ooh, you don't ever want to go there.
All right, Brian, thanks for calling, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right. There you go. Pretty cool. Skinwalker Ranch. That one too.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
I'm not going there.
That sounds risky.
I remember when George Knapp did a special on that, and I like George Knapp. He's a square shooter. He used to do a lot of stories on Bob Lazar and Area 51 and all kinds of craziness, that fringe stuff. Right. And so they took him up there to Skinwalker Ranch in northeastern Utah, because there was a lot of craziness coming out from the family that lived there. And he seemed to be convinced that there was something weird going on there. So I remember Bigelow, he bought the property, and because he wanted to know what was going on there. And then, of course, the military stepped in and wanted to do experiments out there because they thought something was there. And I seen a lot of weird stuff myself and heard a lot of stories about that place, and I won't go in there for nothing.
Oh, wow.
Well, back when I was a food server, if we heard Donner Party of Four, we kind of got worried.
Oh, man, I tell you what, there's things in this world you can't explain, so I don't even bother trying.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But have you been watching the show? Now they got the show for it.
No, I don't really have time to watch shows. I'm either digging or making videos, one of the two. So, I really don't got time for much. I barely get enough sleep as it is.
Yeah, I thought you don't sleep.
Nah, I don't. Slim and his damn breath is. That's right. I'm talking to you. His stinky breath. So, nope, I don't sleep that much. But when I do, it's down in the drift mine. Nobody bothers me down there.
He's quiet.
Yeah, he's real quiet. All right. He's over there looking at me.
Until your little scorpion friend shows
Which
up.
again,
I hate those things.
Drift mine. Please check the coordinates above and be sure to walk there and surprise.
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me write that down so I don't forget.
Yeah, make sure you write this down. You may need a boat. I'm just gonna say
Let me
it.
see.
It's a
Where is
good
that
long
thing?
air hose.
Well, you come on down and you can help me clean my honey pot. That darn thing is full.
No, you're on your own there.
Nobody wants to ladle that monker out.
Hey, I will tell you, he's big enough to carry two.
Yeah. Oh, really? That means
Yeah.
I need more.
Yeah, he's a big knuckle dragger. He can carry two of them.
I see a ladle on the wall behind you, Jeff.
You see a what?
A ladle on the wall behind you.
Oh yeah, that's for my beans. That's for stirring them.
And that's your honey pot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll take me a week with that little baby thing. Holy cow.
I'm glad to see your cabin so big.
Oh yeah, it's big. It's got everything in it.
He's looking around like, yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's real big. All right, it needs a second floor and maybe something else. I got my stove in, my pot belly, so I'm good to go. And
So when did you build that cabin?
huh?
I said, when did you build that cabin?
Let's see. Me and Slim built this thing about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. So I figure, what the heck? Slim has a nice cabin, and now I've got a nice cabin, and we figured this would be a good place to do videos.
Yeah, but I know there's no loft.
Yeah, exactly. So we can do what we want in here, and I can fire off as much as I want. See what I mean?
And you got the internet in your cabin. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you gotta love that. And I got all the amenities. I've got my reading lamps. I got my bush baked beans. Ooh, I got my whiskey up here, and my smoking tobacco, my Prince Albert, because you got to have Prince Albert smoking tobacco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good can, bro. You lucky.
Oh man,
son.
we got all kinds of stuff up in here.
You lucky guy.
And I got
That's a good
my
can.
whiskey bottles. Huh?
That's cool.
That's a good
Oh,
can.
I got my mouth harp too, so I can play a little music in here, my harmonica, and my and I got my Hills Brothers, and I got all my coffee up in here too.
Those are cool cans too. Like the coffee pot too next to it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, got my coffee pot up there. Got to have a coffee pot.
See, that's
Hey, did you find the the tobacco can metal detector?
Yeah, actually, it was over at a private site. As you can see, they got several of them. I got velvet too. I like velvet.
Come on, really?
What?
Son of a bitch.
What? You don't like those? I thought they were pretty cool.
No, they're pretty freaking cool.
That's the Union Leader right there. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. I like velvet. Velvet's pretty cool.
Never heard of that one.
It still has a seal on the side, so I got to be careful with this one. A little blue seal. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there it is.
I find them, but they're like rusted as you couldn't believe. So
Oh,
You
yeah. I
found all
don't
those
like
metal
those.
detecting, right?
Huh?
You found those
Actually,
metal detecting?
it's in a cave.
These were actually at a friend of ours up at his ranch. And it was an old homesteader ranch. He let me go through there, and I found them on one of the shelves tucked away on the corner. And I said, "Can I have them?" He said, "Yeah, you can have them."
That's pretty
So
cool.
that's how we obtained it. So I thought for sure there was tobacco in them because they looked like they're in such great shape.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
Hey, like I said, they were in a cave And trust me, people don't do it because Jeff said you could find that thing. Ugh. Hey, Jeff, warn these guys again about caves, please.
Caves or mines? Which one? Two separate
Yeah,
things.
mines, they're the same thing to me.
Oh, well, okay. I'll go into the safety precautions on that. But for all you tenderfoot out there, you greenhorns, the signs are put up for a reason. Stay out and stay alive. Unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't advocate going in them, because I've seen many of people go in there with a 6-pack and a lighter, thinking it's going to be a good day for them to go running through there and getting drunk. Or they're just kids and they don't understand the dangers that are involved, because there's unseen dangers as well. You know, you can have, especially if you got water in those mines, the timbers like to decompose, and they like to suck up all that oxygen. And then of course they put carbon dioxide out as the product, and it floats on the water. You go stirring it up, and then your oxygen levels start to deplete, and you start feeling lightheaded, and you fall down face first in the water and you drown. So, or you could have false floors in there that they're inches below the surface of the water, and you take a step and you're going for a plunge. So, I mean, there's just so many unseen hazards in these old mines. One of my favorite is unexploded explosives. I can't tell you how many times I've found cases of dynamite or blasting caps that are just willy-nilly wherever. And I'm not worried as much about the dynamite, it's the caps. They used to use mercury fulminate in those caps, the old number 6s. And they're real sensitive to shock, especially after copper starts breaking down. And you step on that, we call them toe tappers, because it'll take your big toe clean off. Yeah. So I always advocate, don't go in unless you know what you're doing. And even if you know what you're doing, you better have an oxygen meter, and you better have a team with you that have radios, and you better understand how mines are put together so you can understand what type of pitfalls or dangers you could be looking for. And then even if you got all that, I've seen people go in there and experience, seasoned miners. And sometimes you got rock fall. They call it getting slabbed or slabbing. And you get a big chunk of back that comes down on you just because the earth has been shifted for so long, and it decides that's a good time to come down. There's no way to tell when it's going to come down.
No, you know, right?
So I tell people, I forgot rattlesnakes. They love the first 20 feet of those old portals, in the attics. I've seen many a guy walk in wearing shorts and tennis shoes. I'm like, dude, I ain't afraid. Well, I didn't say you were. You don't have to prove your machoality.
No, I got it. Hang on.
So they go in there rushing in. I'm like, did you even check the corners? Because that's where they like to sleep. You get tagged by one of these Diamondbacks or Mojave Green. Well, I might as well just put a tombstone on this monker for you.
Done. You're right. Done.
Yeah, you're done. That's a 2-foot snake. I mean, a 2-stepper.
That's nuts.
So yeah, stay out and stay alive. That's a big fan advocate of that, because I've seen a lot of guys go in and they joke around and then they get hurt, and this is real down there. This isn't Disneyland, like I always say.
Right. That's why the sign's there.
Yeah.
You know what? I always said one thing, because there is a reason, there is a rhyme. So if you see a cave, like a little, we call them foxholes or coyote holes.
Right.
There could be a snake sitting there waiting for a rat to walk out. And when you come in, you're that rat.
Yeah, giant rat. and people don't realize that there's a food chain that lives in there. Pack rats love to live in abandoned mines. They love that. You see their nests in there all the time. We see them constantly. And of course, the snakes, they know that. They go in to cool off because they have to try to regulate their body temperatures. And they're like, hey, while I'm in here, I might as well get a snack. So they're, taking a nap. You come waltzing in there, you startle them. Of course, they're going to strike at you. Most of the time.
Guess what?
Yeah, most of the time they'll hiss. I've heard them hiss at you first and then rattle, so that you can kind of get an idea. But if you startle them, you step on them, they're going to strike.
Right.
And if you ain't got the proper foot gear, guess what? They're going to call you limpy. So,
or your arm.
No fun either. So you got to be real careful in those mines, especially the abandoned mines.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a lot of hidden dangers people don't take into account. Oxygen depletion is one of my scariest ones. You go in, a lot of guys don't use air meters. They just go in there willy-nilly. And they think, I'm a tough guy, I can handle it. Right, but your brain ain't going to function on 20% oxygen. You're going to pass out. And then what's going to happen to you when you're face down in that carbon dioxide? So we don't have methane issues like they do back east in the coal seams, but a lot of times the wood, you'll see this on a lot of these exploration videos. When there's water and there's wood, that's a bad mix right there. So
yeah, but Jeff, you know what? I think a lot of things it's never been explained. Like if you walk through the gases, they come up.
Yeah, they'll stir them up. They'll
And
float
then
up
once
for
you
just a
try
little
to
bit.
get back out, you ain't going to get back out.
And one that almost got me, you know, and I like to think that I've got some experience in this, is that I went to the back of one of these drifts. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. And it went up to a raise, and I started going up the raise, and there was a pack rat nest at the very end. Well, what had happened is that pack rat, he releases a lot of ammonia in his urine. And because it's an raise, which is at about a 45-degree angle, that ammonia gas has nowhere to go. It just sits in that pocket. And so I start climbing up the raise to see if it goes anywhere, stick my head in there. I can't breathe. I thought for sure I was going to pass out right there and then. And so I dropped down. I didn't care if I broke my legs or not, because I felt it coming on like that. Dropped down, and a buddy of mine helped me get out. And I says, we're never going in without an air meter again.
Wow.
So we had just found this one, and I thought, let's check it out real quick, see if there's any seams of mineralization. Maybe we can put a claim on it.
Sure.
Nope, never do that again. Not without a meter.
Wow.
It ain't worth it, is
No,
it?
heck no.
No,
'Cause
heck no.
gold's no good if you're dead.
That's right. Yeah. Good.
Just ask King Tut.
Did you put a claim on it?
Huh?
Did you put a claim on it?
No, because it spooked me so bad I didn't want to go back.
Oh,
And it wasn't that
I'm
big
with
of
you,
a mine
bro.
anyway.
I'm with you.
I figured, you know, that was the powers that be, the reason for telling me not to come back. Stay away. Okay. You don't got to say, I'm very superstitious when it comes to this stuff. And I'll look for certain signs and stuff. And that to me was a sign not to come back. Okay, that's good. There's plenty of mines out there I can find.
You'll just find another one.
Exactly. There's a dime a dozen.
I bet out there. Mm-hmm. How many
Oh,
do you
yeah.
got now, Jeff?
Huh?
How many do you got now?
How many claims? God, I don't know. I lost count. I know I've got over 10 because I can't file a small miner's waiver.
Gotcha.
Oh, sorry about your luck.
I know, right? That gets costly. They raised the price again. It's 165 per 20 acres.
what?
Yeah. So
You got-
I know it's over 10, but we've got a mixture of placer and hard rock,
Right.
obviously.
So you-
And we're constantly looking for more. So what I tell people, I try to explain it on one of my videos, is you have to understand how the sites work, like mylandmatters.org, or if you're really good, LR2000, which I don't mess with because it's too complicated.
Mhm.
So what I do is I like to look to see where people drop their claims. And if, you know, I don't know why they drop them. Maybe they couldn't afford them, or maybe they don't want them no more. And so there's certain areas I know that are rich and productive. So I got a list, and come September, that's when your maintenance fees are due. I see this, find out who didn't pay their maintenance fees. And if they didn't, that means they don't want them, or maybe they just couldn't afford it no more. So I go there and I pick them up because I know they're good. And so that's how we've gotten several of them. We just go through and keep an eye on it. It's laborious because you got to watch it all the time, and you got to watch it for a period of months. It's not just September 2nd, because they can file a small waiver or small miners waiver, which goes all the way into the next year. There's a time period that they have to file that. And so what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on it. And the telltale signs is when you see that maintenance fee number for the date, if it doesn't roll over into the next year, something's amiss. So I'll keep an eye on it. Like if I'm looking for claims in 2020 and I see a 2019, I'm like, oh, for some reason that didn't roll over. So he's either going to file a small waiver, or if it's a big enough company, they're letting it go.
Right.
And so that's how we acquired some of ours. So we'll go in there.
Now,
I'll
Jeff,
get a hold of BLM. I'll tell them the mining claim number and say, did they file a miner's waiver on this? Nope. Okay, I'm taking it.
Oh, nice.
So
now tell
Now
them,
you do it.
now, what's the backside of it?
the backside of there's is that either just there's no gold there, or they destroyed the mine. They mined it out. So I've seen a couple of them. So I get all excited and we go out there. I'm like, oh yeah, they stripped that one. They pitted it. Okay. So there's nothing there.
Dang. So you
So,
do, it's right unseen then half the
yeah,
time.
but we found a couple of them where the companies have gone belly up for whatever reason, and we just went in there and we figured they're open for claims, so why not pick them up? Contact BLM, double check, make sure. Yep, okay, I'm filing right now.
Thanks. Well, that's
So that's
Yep.
what you do. File with the county, then with the feds, state first, then the feds. Put your posts up, the location monument, put all your
Now, wait a
paperwork
minute.
in.
Now,
and
wait a
you're good to
minute.
go.
Shouldn't it be county first? Because
Yeah.
county trumps everything.
Yeah, we always do county first. I don't know if I said that right, but county comes first. So you go down to the county recorder's office for that area, and then I'll put in my paperwork, and then I'll go out, put my posts up, put in my paperwork again, and then I'll submit that to the BLM office. I got 90 days to do all this. It's a 30-day increments, 30 for the first, and then 60 for the second, and then 90 for the last. So for people that don't understand it, I'll try to simplify it. You find something, you go out and you put up your location monument. So you got 30 days to start filing with the county. Then you go out there and you file with the county. Then you got to put up your posts. You got 60 days to do that. Then you put up all your posts. Make sure that you got your coordinates right and everything is on the up and up. I like using 4x4 posts painted white with all my information marked on the sides of them so people know exactly where they're at. Right. Then I use GPS to make sure they're in the right location. And then I got another 30 days, which is the 90, another 30 days to file that paperwork with BLM. Then when I get that paperwork, that's the official paperwork, and I put that in my location monument, and that seals the deal.
Now, see, in Arizona, the county paperwork is the official.
Oh, really? I always said the BLM was the last word.
Well, you got to remember in the county in Arizona, we actually elect a sheriff.
Oh, okay.
So that's an elected official that kind of precedes what's going on with your claims. And if you have a federal mining claim, that kind of overdoes all that.
Right.
It's
so
the same way. Same way or no?
No, I always do county first, no matter what, because that's the part of the rules. If you look up the book, county comes first, then the feds last. And then once I do the feds, I know that I'm sealed in. And you know, it's funny, even then, you can still get a letter, which I've gotten plenty of them, that says, you know what, we're not exactly, it could be the county or the feds. We're not happy with this information. You need to submit some type of amendment, and you have 30 days to do that. Or the county might say, you know, your map is not exactly the way we like it. We want the exact coordinates on your map. I've gotten that too.
Come on.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
20 acres. This way or that way? Which way
exactly.
You want to go?
But they want that when we did our Nevada, so we had to go up to county recorder's office downtown, and we filed 3 times because it wasn't exactly the way they wanted it. And you know, you got to make them happy. So I said, look, I'm tired of playing this hit and miss game. Just tell me what you want and I'll do it. They said, okay. So we got on the phone together, and the guy was part of the survey department. And he says, you need to mark this, 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 and this. And then I'm like, there's more? So the bottom line is Nevada, pain in the butt. Arizona, easy to file. I can file a mining claim in Arizona, lickety split. Nevada, especially Clark County, you better have your P's and Q's all together, and because they don't mess around.
Man, so what's next for you, Jeff? What's coming up on, you know?
What's coming up in the future?
I think
well,
land.
Right now, probably the outhouse, because all this iced tea I've been drinking. If you want to know the truth, I'll take the camera with me.
I didn't need that much information.
Nobody wants to go to the outhouse. Nobody's fun anymore. No, we got a bunch of stuff coming up for 2020. Like I said, the COVID-19 put a little dampener in everything, slowed us down a bit, but we're trying to go bigger because I want everybody to have the full experience. Sure. It's just a lot more hoops to jump through. I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to have something like Gold Rush Alaska, but you could invite people to come out, get their little, 30-hour MSHA training program, and then get them on an excavator? I thought that'd be the coolest thing in the world. I mean, how many people, you can watch it, but how many people have lived it?
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
So in order for that to happen, we're going to have to go to Alaska, because I'm not messing around down here. I think there's still some good ground up in Alaska. But the problem is it's gonna cost a lot to get everything
A lot of
put together.
logistics.
Yeah.
Exactly, a lot of hoops to jump through.
So where are you going?
We got several locations, but we're trying to keep it on the down low. We got a couple people who are willing to lease their claims because most of the good stuff's already claimed up. So we're going to try to lease it from them for a certain percentage. And I'm hoping that might help with some of the liability too. And they got equipment up there too already. So that helps too. So we don't have to put a huge investment into this.
So
because
you're looking at 10 to 15.
At least. I'm looking more. I'm thinking I'm going to probably have to come up with 50 grand easy.
You're gonna have 10 to 15%. You're gonna have to.
Yeah. So and of course give him a percentage, the lease owner, which is about 25%, and hopefully he'll be happy with that.
So is this like a dream you've wanted to do, Jeff, for a long time?
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go super big. I mean, to me, as a kid, I thought, oh man, I want to go to work at the 16-to-1 mine. That would be the greatest thing. Get me on a jack leg and I'll go to town. Right. So, and of course, the EPA and regulations and MSHA, all that stuff is just, it's really hard anymore.
How much percent? Fuck, I better be making fucking serious bank, dude.
Yeah. It's just the way gold prices are. People are, they really know that gold's going to start swinging up high. So they've got you by the short hairs right there. So you got to play it by their rules.
Yeah.
So I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a full-size trommel, an excavator, wash plant, and then smelt out some serious buttons? And wouldn't it be cool to have a full-size operation underground, full jack legs, bring on a contractor to do the blasting, because it's so expensive anymore to get ATF approval for your magazines and of course to ship the powder out there and store it, and to get licensed after 9/11. Licensing is a fortune now. So I thought that would be the greatest thing in the world, to go big and have people come out and experience it. Not for 3 days, for a full week.
Right.
So that way they get the full experience. But it's just, gosh darn, it's so expensive.
Yeah, that's a big investment. So
yep. No, I don't know of anybody that's doing that.
I mean, not quite like that. No, definitely not. Not where you're running the equipment and everything. So
yeah, that to me, that's great to see the look on their face running full-size equipment.
That'd be fun. So, that'd just be the fun part right there. And then you get,
I know. The heck with the gold. Just let me get on an excavator and I'll dig a big hole.
A loader for a while and an excavator.
Yeah, of course, rotate them. One guy's gonna have to work the wash plant. The other one's gonna have to run the front end loader so they can clean all the muck that comes out the back, and then the other one working the excavator, and maybe even a full-size dump truck. So,
and then split up the gold at the end of the week.
Yep. Well, actually, I think it'd be cool to smelt it up into a gigantic button.
Ooh, yeah.
So, wouldn't that be cool?
Cool. I like it, man.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool. And if not, then we can just part it all out loosely.
Right.
That way, depending on what they do. We've done that on a small scale. Some of our mines up by Pioche, we've actually poured some very small buttons in cone molds, because that's what the people who were working the mine, I says, you want it loose or do you want it smelted down to get the impurities out? So 2 guys said smelt it. And when we were smelting, we got a small ratio of silver with it. And they were super happy with it.
Oh, yeah. See, I'd like to have it melted down. That'd be cool.
That's what they thought. Others wanted it loose because they just wanted to see it in its raw, natural form.
Yeah, well, we got that. I ain't got none that's been smelted down. So that.
Yeah, having a little button, then you make a necklace out of it.
I would like to have that someday.
Oh yeah, you never know. I'm working on it. Like I said, it's just so many hoops.
I could imagine. How do you got time for? You still got your garage and stuff, your auto mechanic business?
Yep, still got our shop. I got a crew working that, dedicated. I've already given one guy a full assignment, and he's basically the manager now. And he manages the shop, and I give him a percentage of everything he does. And then, of course, he has questions to oversee a special project, because I'm ASC certified master. I said, go ahead, let me know what you got. If it's something you've never seen, I'll do what I can. We'll Skype it in case I'm in the field, if I've got reception, and then I'll see what you got. But for the most part, it's simple stuff like brake changes, oil jobs, maybe tune-ups now and then. Everything is computerized now, so we use nothing but scan tools to access the onboard computers, and then they basically do all the diagnostics right there for the PCMs. and then we can figure out what the problem is, or they can.
Sure.
And then we have commercial accounts set up with the local parts houses, so they just have them deliver the parts.
Because
I'm sorry, sir. Are you overqualified for the job right now?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what a monkey wrench is.
yeah, because I don't see you having time with everything else that you're doing.
Well, I'm working on changing my muffler bearing, so so I haven't figured that one out yet. That's been stumping me.
Okay. Someday you'll figure that one out, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's always a pleasure having you, buddy.
Oh, I love being on the show. I tell you what, I always have a fun time, a hoot, and I get to just spool whatever comes out.
Oh yeah. There's no filter here. It's just like, just let her rip, Tater Chip.
Let her rip, baby. I can shoot off as many rounds as I want.
There is no filter. We got Scott here, so it's
yeah.
What are you talking about? Lisa won't even let me pull my gun out.
Wah, 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 wah.
Well, she goes, you got bullets in it. I'm like, I can take them out. She goes, no, I don't think you can. So
see,
we'll stay in the gun.
Yep. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, that's loud.
Hey.
Uh-oh, it's caller.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Kevin.
Kevin, you need to turn your volume down from the show if you can. All right. You got a question for Jeff?
Yeah, I'm not sure who exactly
Okay.
to ask.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, Jeff was talking about these volcanic intrusions, and he said 1, 3, 5, 7, and 21 miles. And so I was wondering if you could just talk a bit about those intrusions. And yeah.
Okay. Jeff, did you hear him?
No, it was on my speaker. It was kind of garbled.
He was talking about the volcanic intrusions.
Oh, the vents. Yeah, it's funny. I get a lot of people asking me about that magic set of numbers. You got 1, 3, 7, and 21. I had an old timer teach me that. So I can go into more detail about it. But volcanoes are fantastic, especially here in Nevada, for making epithermal deposits because it gives you the right combination. You got heat, and of course, you've got intrusions of certain metals that come with it. And you can have either a magmatic down below, or you can have meteoric, which is the groundwaters that are circulating, and they'll actually leach out minerals that are in the host rocks or the country rock and bring them up until they boil out and create deposits. Well, the reason why 1, 3, and 7, 21 are so important, those numbers, is because I found a lot of epithermal deposits, especially with calcite, that are within those ranges from the vents. And so I tell people, those are the numbers you need to focus on if you want to look at deposits around volcanic vents. I'm not saying you're going to find one, because sometimes they'll be covered up by some of the ash flow tuff, or maybe if they were mostly iron and magnesium, you're going to have a lot of basalt covering them, or rhyolitic if it's like a dacite dome or something like that. You're going to have that covering up some of your deposits.
Jeff, would that be like Arizona, or not Arizona, but Arkansas, the diamond caverns thing?
Well, no, you're going to have kimberlites out there. And you diamonds and kimberlite pipes that are out there. No, this is more like Nevada that I'm talking about, especially down around the Mojave Desert and places like that, where you had a lot of volcanic activity because the state's being stretched apart. And of course, the crust is really thin, so it creates a great environment for volcanic activity, the events that come up. And as they do come up, sometimes in the way 65 million to 650 million years ago, Precambrian, you got a lot of calderas that have collapsed. And that's the perfect environment to create some of these world-class bonanza-type gold deposits that are epithermal, which is basically like a hot springs, like you have up in Virginia City and Goldfield and Bodie. Those are what those are comprised of. And so if you look at the distance from the nearest vent to these deposits, it falls within the 1, 3, 7, and 21.
Did that help you out, Kevin?
Yeah, it did actually. And I have a piece of property that's 21 miles away, and it has a lot of metamorphic rock, but there's not a lot of exploration or information. And I'm leaning to aeromagnetic surveys, and I'm wondering if those can be helpful.
Now, are you running magnetometers?
No, I rely on government survey data, like aeromagnetic.
Okay.
With promising prospect.
Yeah, if you find huge magnetic anomalies, which is what they do to find gold mines, they'll fly planes over with magnetometers, and they're looking for magnetic anomalies in the ground because iron is largely associated with these because a lot of your volcanic vents are mostly magnesium and iron. That basalt that you see is mostly magnesium and iron. And a lot of times you'll have lenses around these huge iron deposits that have the gold in it where they were precipitated out. So if you're finding this information and you're finding these lenses or these anomalies, I would definitely prospect on the outer lens of them.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, buddy. Have a great night. Thanks for calling.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bye, bud.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Jeff, we're going to
Nailed it.
get off of here, and we want to thank you again for hanging out with us for this time, and you're welcome back as always.
Oh, I'd love to come back. You know me, I'm just hanging out in the wagon, in the cabin. I'm losing my mind out here. So,
anytime, brother. And let us know if somebody finds that treasure.
oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
So I can't wait to see somebody find it. And like I said, if not, we're going to give one extra clue, and that's it. They can't find it then. It's just going to be lost out there to time and Mother Nature.
Well, let us know, man.
You know what? One day, I'll meet you.
Oh, heck yeah. Hold on. There you go.
All right.
You got it, baby.
Take care, brother.
All right now.
Bye.
Thanks, Jeff.
Good night.
Always a pleasure. Always a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Always. Take care, buddy. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.
All right.
I don't know how to shut this darn thing off.
I think there's a leave meeting.
You gotta
button.
hit the leave.
The button that says leave meeting, Jeff.
I don't know nothing about computers. Don't laugh at me.
Wow.
It ain't hard rock mining. It's just computers.
Oh, I'm still in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, there, I see it. It's a little red button.
There you go.
Press the button.
There he is.
All right.
She's got a lot of stuff going on.
Fantastic show. Fantastic show.
1 minute, do a quick break from Amber, then we'll come back and Shad can do his gold prices real quick, and then we'll get off here. Okay?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. The sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their miners' legal fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
In 1858, gold Caledonia. This discovery would spark
Jump
a
the gun.
massive gold rush. Today, the search for gold is much easier, yet still challenging with Dirt Hog Pay Dirt. At Dirt Hog, we pride ourselves on our gold and guaranteed gold amounts. Just visit dirthogpaydirt.com today and buy yourself a bag of the best pay dirt concentrates on the market. Order with confidence in Canada and North America. dirthogpaydirt.com. The best gold concentrates on the market, period. Also, be sure to check out our Honest Bonus program.
Okay, Shad, you're up.
Oh. You snuck in an extra commercial there for Dirt Hog. Great pay dirt, by the way. Everybody buy. Make sure it's the correct Dirt Hog with 2 G's, so you don't get ripped off. That was funny.
No, it's always Sunday. The 2.
Hey, I'm sorry. You know, I'm staring at Rich just like this.
I keep thinking it's Wednesday.
I was watching him fall.
Me too.
I'm awake. I'm not drippy-eyed.
All right. Well, real quick here. Here's your gold prices. So I'm anxious to see what happens this week. Gold is up $12 at $1,748. Silver's also up at 85 cents. That's a big $16.99 for silver. Yes. That's a huge move for silver.
Yes.
Now platinum's also up $38 at 820, so it's getting back in there in the mid 800s where it belongs.
Right.
Now palladium, that's also up $55 at 1,901. So obviously responding to a lot of changes with economies trying to reopen. But yeah, I'm really surprised with silver. I mean, 85 cents, yes, it's not a lot, but when you do a percentage, that's a huge movement there.
Yes, huge.
So, it'll be interesting to see what continues to happen over these next couple weeks. Now, rhodium, that one stayed completely flat as of close of business of markets on Friday at $7,250. So
nice.
After all this opens up, will we see a huge increase again in rhodium up to above $14,000? I don't know. I mean, is this a great time to try to get in on rhodium and maybe ride a hopeful increase? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But those are your market prices.
All right, you got some birthdays real quick?
Oh, yes, we got some birthdays. Do we want anyone to sing, or are we diving into this?
Happy birthday to you. Let's go.
Cheers.
Yes, okay.
All right. May 17th. Sorry, you don't get a nice drawn-out song. But we have Doreen Reed, Ed Brucal, Jeff Harris, Jeff Werner, Kimberly K. Hall, Lucas Davis, Lugnut Chris, and then Ron Harris. And then tomorrow we have 89 Bourbon, Chuck Thompson, Dave Smallbrook, James A. Lucier, JC, Mark Turner, Okie Slate Jr., Ray Stewart, and Reverend Bob Severdia.
Dang.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Highlighting one, Shad?
I guess I'll just go to Lugnut. I mean, I'm sorry. A name of Lugnut, you kind of want to click on the name and see.
You got to see what it is.
Well, he's from Gig Harbor, Washington, so way up there in the Pacific Northwest. He's a 46-year-old male, if you're interested. But panning is the new thing, he says. He is going to, at the time when he signed up, he was joining some Washington Gold Clubs, and he found the site through a link on Prospectors Mining Club Forum. So that was pretty cool. And he was just out there checking random internet sites, he said. But he primarily uses a gold pan, a sluice, but he likes to also snipe, and then he just got into high banking.
Oh, okay.
So he's been a member now. We'll go back.
Going back.
Going back to January 2nd, 2013.
Okay, so a few years.
Yeah.
7 years. Pretty
7 years. Another reminder, update your profiles, people. Maybe you expanded. Maybe you were just learning. Tell us how you progressed.
That's right. And one more birthday, Shad. Ron and Lisa Shaw in the chat room. Happy birthday. So
Happy birthday.
Yes, and if you want your birthday, make sure you update the profile to say so.
Right.
By the way, I want to say happy birthday to Vanessa.
Happy birthday.
Long-time listener, not a joiner, but she does listen. So
wow, happy
she
birthday
is.
too. Now, also don't forget Tuesday night, on Tuesday Night Hangouts with Ed, Jess, and Dano. This week, their guest is DK of the YouTube channel Adventures in Dirt. So be sure to check them out Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over there on their YouTube channel. Tuesday Night Hangouts with Ed, Jess, and Dano. Sure to be a great show. And once again, we want to thank Jeff Williams for stopping by and hanging out with us, and all you guys for hanging out with us as well. We appreciate it. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and that little bell, like Shad always says, so you'll know when we go live. And on that note,
Good night, Gold Diggers.
They said it all.
Really? Come on, guys.
I have nothing to say.
Bash, bash.
You know what? It is what it is. You know what, folks? Get up there and live life before life in there start living. And I might see you in the gold fields.
Put your hat back on, Scott.
Adios.
There, and we're still live on YouTube, so say bye one more time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care,
Gold
guys.
Diggers.
I hope you have a great time.
Yeah.
Thanks for going. YouTube.
Bash, bash.
Oh, my God.